Oh, hi, didn't see you there. My name is Mike Commito. I'm the Director of Applied Research and Innovation at Cambrian College, and I'm pleased to be a part of the Innovation for a Greater Sudbury event again this year. This is my fourth year representing Cambrian as part of this event, and obviously, as you can see, we've taken things online this year in light of the global pandemic. And so we're going to try things a little bit differently by going through Facebook Live today. So I'm coming at you sort of live from my playroom, as you could tell. As I think we've all kind of adjusted to working from home right now. So sometimes the home office is in the dining room, sometimes it's in the playroom, sometimes it's anywhere you can find a quiet spot in the house. So what we're doing this year, if you tuned into Laurentian's video yesterday and their presentation, is we're highlighting students across our post-secondary institutions here in Sudbury and the experiences they've had on applied research projects, the other experiences they've had, in the realm of innovation and taking their ideas to the next level within our community. And so I think, before we get started and bring you an interview that I had the chance to do with two former applied research students, David and Pierre Leduc, who are, they're both identical twins from Hearst, and we used to joke with them that it was when they were on projects, it was a case of twinnovation. They didn't like that one, but anyway, hopefully they're not tuning into this and they won't hear that. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about applied research that happens at Cambrian College. So at Cambrian and across colleges across colleges across Canada, I wish, a good thing this isn't live, although I'm going to treat it like it's live. Applied research allows students to take the knowledge that they're building in the classroom and apply it to real world challenges with industry partners. So companies will come to a college like Cambrian with an idea, and they often do not have the capacity or the resources to take that idea to the next level. They'll have it sketched out on the back of a napkin, and what they really want Cambrian to do is to really kind of actualize that idea and help them accelerate their innovation timeline. So working with students, faculty, and specialized equipment, the industry partner is able to leverage government funding from sources at the federal level, such as Natural Science and Engineering Research Council of Canada, NSERC, or provincially OCE, although I believe they changed their name, they're now OCI, but maybe you'll hear more about that later in the week. And so what these funds allow us to do is to build a project scope with our industry partners and then execute on that by engaging faculty and students. And they really kind of take that idea, working in collaboration with the industry partner, and bring it to life. And I think that's one of the great things about applied research, and what you'll hear when you listen to the interview with David and Pierre, is that it really allows them to take what they're learning and kind of really enhance it. They're already learning these things in the classroom, but you can't simulate a real life challenge. And I think the great part about applied research is you really get to put those skills to the test, but you also get to work on other skills. You're interacting with industry partners. You have to work on your soft skills, presenting, interfacing, scheduling time and meetings and things like that. So I think it is applied research is a holistic approach. Certainly, if you're an electrical or you're a machining student, you're going to work on those skill sets within your program area that you're studying. But I think it's also a much more enriching experience all around that I think, as you'll hear from the twins, that I think overall enhanced their experience at Cambrian College. So before we go into the interview with the twins, what I wanted to do was give you a virtual tour of our applied research facilities. I think in a normal world, I'd love to have you in our building, which is the Glencore Center for Innovation, and we'd be happy to tour you through our spaces. But what we've done, we have a 360 video on YouTube. I think it's we'll share the link after. It's a really cool feature. If you're on your smartphone, you can virtually tour the lab by kind of looking across your phone as if you would if you were in the room. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with myself because I'm the only one that's in this meeting. What I'm showing you right now are two of our prototyping shops in the Glencore Center for Innovation. So the first one includes an array of manufacturing and additive manufacturing equipment. We have a full-size color 3D printer. We also have much smaller 3D printers as well for prototyping and making different form factors for products or prototypes. We also have a large 5-axis CNC milling machine. It complements our existing suite of CNCs that we have in our machining shop, but this is one of its kind machine where, again, it's able to cut and make parts on 5 axes, which obviously gives us a lot of latitude when it comes to making and machining parts and prototypes for projects. Also in this room is a laser etcher. It hasn't been installed yet, but you can use your imagination of the things that we'll be able to get it to do. So we're now actually going to kind of veer over into the other room, which is still complementary to our prototyping suite. This is where a lot of the construction happens. You'll also see on the far side of the room here, we have modular bays for projects. So right now we have projects that are kind of cycling in and out. These are workstations where students and faculty can work on projects. But the main focus of this room is we have welding bays, and we also have a water jet cutter, overhead cranes, and a material storage crib. So this provides us with everything we need to build and fabricate and weld on a project. So a lot of the work that we're doing on the hands-on side of things happen in these two shops. And again, if you've been in the Glencore Center recently, you'll know that these have been some significant upgrades to our equipment as a result of some investment from NOHFC and FedNor, which we're very grateful for, because ultimately by having this capacity that we have now, we're able to offer more services and better equipment to our industry partners to carry out these types of applied research projects and innovation. So we're now going to pretend that we're walking down the hallway outside of these shops. We're now in the electronic prototyping suite. And this is where John Moon, who is our part-time electrical engineer, hangs out. And there's a lot of really great equipment in here that John would be better at explaining to you than me. But there is a range of pieces of equipment in here that I do know about. We have a pick and place machine. We also have a reflow oven for putting together printed circuit boards. And again, this is so on a lot of our projects, there's often a need for both mechanical and electrical solutions. And so most of the equipment that we would need to take on an electrical or an electronics project, we'd be able to tap into the equipment in this room. And if you look closely at the door here, you can see that I'm actually in the shot. So this is my first time being a part of 360 camera work with Paul. And I'm sure, now that you've seen that I've blocked his shot by being in the frame, that'll be the last time I'm invited on those.
Yep, fired.
That's a brief snapshot of what we do in the Glencore Center for Innovation and how we're able to take the equipment that we have in applied research and mobilize it for projects. So now, without further ado, I'd like for you to stay on the stream, so to speak. We're going to show you an interview that I did with David and Pierre Leduc, who are those two rock star twins I talked about earlier, who were on applied research project with us last year. They're going to talk about their experience on applied research, how it helped them in their studies, what they're up to now, and just learn a little bit more about what it's like to be a student on an applied research project. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. My name is Mike Commito. I'm the Director of Applied Research and Innovation at Cambrian College. And no, you're not seeing double. I'm with David and Pierre Leduc, who are two former applied research students at Cambrian College. We wanted to chat with them today about their experience working in applied research, how it helped them in their schooling, and how they try to stay innovative these days. So David and Pierre, welcome. If you wanted to tell us what programs you guys took at Cambrian.
I took a mechanical industrial millwright at Cambrian College. It's a 2-year program. And after that, I took a mechanical technician in manufacturing and machining.
Yeah, for me, my name is Pierre Leduc. I took an electrical engineering technology course at Cambrian College. It's a 3-year course.
Right on. And I know that before you guys went to Cambrian, you were involved, I believe I've got my facts right, that you were involved in a robotics competition at your high school. Can you tell us a little about that and what made you interested in getting into robotics at that time?
Yeah, so during high school, our high school had a pretty good program in robotics. I think in 11th grade was our first year participating. And definitely even when I was younger, had a lot of interest in designing and trying out new things. And basically the robotics program, they participate in the skills competition. Mm-hmm. And basically the whole point of the skills competition is you have a whole year to, you get a challenge in September and you have to build a robot within the school year. And then each school provincially compete against each other. And, it's a friendly competition of finding out who has the best robot for completing the challenge.
Yes, and the fun part about it is once you get to the competition, you can really see other people's design, what they thought of, and share ideas with them, which made it a really nice collab experience with people all around the province.
Yeah, so we participated in 11th grade, our first year. First year we came out, I think, 3rd place in provincials. And then in 12th grade, we participated again. And we came out 1st place in provincials and 1st place in nationals, which was awesome. A pretty cool experience.
And what did your robots have to do?
So the first year, the challenge was to build a boat, which was made out of plywood plank. Mm-hmm. And so parts were scattered all around the court, and our robot had to pick them up, assemble them in the right location, and whoever put the most parts together would win the competition.
Yeah, you would get the most points.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Here we had basically they were little footballs, and you had to pick them up and either put them in a basket at the bottom for 1 point, throw them up in another basket at the top where you get 2 points, or shoot them in a 7-inch hole 4 feet up, and you get 3 points. And basically, the most footballs in I think it was 4 minutes would win the contest.
Yes, and there was a little side contest with that we had to pick up footballs in an entirely autonomous robot,
Mhm.
come up and move them to certain location on the court.
Yeah,
How many 3-point
Experience.
shots did you guys drain?
I think our best during practice was it was 3 each, and the most score you could do was 84. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, and the most we ever did in practice was 72. And I think during competition, our most was 64 or 70, 68.
68.
Nice.
So, and compared to the other teams, like we were doing very well.
Okay.
Pretty proud of
Yeah.
the design, how it came out.
Oh, it came out.
Yeah, no, that's great. So obviously, you know, with your experience on those teams, like you guys are no strangers to innovation and trying to, you know, troubleshoot problems when you came to Cambrian College. But when you arrived at Cambrian, had you heard of applied research before?
No, I personally didn't hear about it. It only came after when one of our teacher approached me to come on board and explain me what they were doing, and like what applied research was all about.
Hmm.
I think for me, I didn't really know that even applied research was in colleges before going to Cambrian. But definitely, again, one of my teachers worked in applied research, and that's really how I got to know that applied research was a thing and got involved. Really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think applied research, I mean, I work in applied research, but I think applied research at the college level is still, you know, one of the best kept secrets in Canada. And so I think it's a pretty common experience that a lot of students coming into college didn't know about these opportunities. And so it's obviously great when you do stumble upon them. Obviously, with your skill sets, you guys were a bit of a dynamic duo because you brought you know, the machining, mechanical side along with the electrical. Can you talk a little bit about the projects you worked on in applied research and and how you're able to take the skill sets from the classroom you were working on and apply them to a real problem?
I was the first between the both of us to join applied research, and I worked on ionic mechatronics project, which was called SafeBox, which was a lockout procedure device to lock out in industry. I worked on the design and manufacturing of parts for that project. And then I got on another project which was for ClickMox.
Mhm.
They wanted to make a design, build, and test a probe to go scan boreholes underground. So I worked on machining, designing, and testing of the probe.
Yeah, for me, basically when my brother started working on the ClickMox project, that really brought me interest, and I decided to join with him the project.
Mhm.
So the electrical side, so choosing electrical components, sizing, doing the electrical design, and really enjoyed working on the project. Yeah.
And what would you guys say would be your, I guess, over the course of those projects you'd worked on, the thing you enjoyed most about doing applied research at Cambrian?
The thing I enjoyed most personally was the people, working with people, communicating different ideas, seeing their thought on the problem, and really being able to do this in a really positive atmosphere with people that are fun to be with.
For me, it's similar. Like working with industry partners obviously brought a lot of value to me because, again, basically in the future, that's a lot of what we'll do, and having that on the resume obviously puts more value to the employer.
Mhm.
And again, working with industry partners, solving problems with challenges that are actually, you know, real world challenges that are being faced in industry today, I think was really cool.
Mhm. And what would you say that there was anything about it that was challenging for you?
Um, I think the most challenges we were able to overcome fairly easily by just working together.
Mhm.
But I think our biggest challenge,
Yeah, well, definitely there were a lot of challenges, but like it's kind of like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, and you'll get over it, right?
Mhm.
And um, really, I think yeah, there were a lot of challenges. I can't name anyone in specific because nowadays, once you look at what you've been doing, if you look at the big picture, it's definitely a lot of work,
Mhm.
challenges to surmount, but they were all little individual challenges that if you uh,
sat down and think about it as a group.
yeah, you were able to overcome them.
What do you think was more challenging, doing the actual projects or going to Ottawa with me and me making you have to explain the project 50 times in French and English at the CI Student Showcase?
Well, the most stressful was obviously in Ottawa.
I'm more technically inclined than socially, I would say. So for me, like the biggest challenge was probably going to Ottawa and being able to put on a good presentations.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, for me, I'd say yeah, Ottawa was probably where I learned the most through challenges.
Yeah, well, you guys did a great job in Ottawa. I mean, we kind of threw you into the lion's den, so to speak. But I think that's one of the benefits of applied research too, is that in addition to the technical skills you're building, I mean, you're working on communication skills, and you guys certainly, I think, knocked it out of the park. Having to explain it so many times throughout the day, and then the next day, when we went to Parliament and chatted with some folks about applied research there. But moving on from that, obviously, you guys are you tackle challenges very well. And one of the things that I think applied research does is it builds on the skills you're already developing in the classroom. Can you think of a way in which applied research helped you in when you went back to your studies in terms of like things you learned on the project that you're able to bring back into the program and help you with your schooling?
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, like all the theory you learn in class is great, but sometimes you have a hard time putting it into real world challenges before you go into the work site. And I
Mhm.
think research is like the absolute best way to do that, right? So you're able to take everything that you've learned in class and put it directly into industry relevant situations, and just being able to put down those what you've learned in class and putting it down like in the real world situations uh, just reinforces your knowledge on pretty much everything you've learned, right?
Mhm.
So no, absolutely.
Yeah, so I really benefited from the Ionic and my QuickMox project in design, thinking ahead. Ionic especially for hydraulic. So I learned a lot about hydraulic and generally just in basic organization skills. The list is very long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Like we couldn't say everything that we've learned during um, applied research because it would be too long, but everything you learn in school really you put into practice,
Yeah,
and that's the thing about research.
yeah, and research really puts the cherry on top for that and putting you to the test and really learning.
Yeah,
learning the
because
content.
in my opinion, the way to learn is actually doing it, right? You can read about it all day, but if you've never done it, you don't know if you actually learned it, right?
Yeah.
And yep. So I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, that's what applied research is meant to do, is to give you that real practical hands-on experience. You can really kind of take some of the ideas that you've been developing and really help a partner tackle a challenge you've been working on. And you guys certainly did that with the projects you did. Obviously now we know that you're not at Cambrian College anymore. Obviously, it would be great to have you back working in the applied research labs with us. But can you tell us a little bit about what you're both up to these days?
Yeah. So for me, I'm currently pursuing my post-secondary education at Lakehead University. So I'm currently in the electrical engineering program, and I'm currently in third year, and I'm working on getting my electrical engineering degree, and no, having a good time. Yep.
I'm currently working as a industrial mechanical millwright at a local business in my hometown. And sometimes during my days off, I sometimes go machine too at another local business here in town.
One of the things, obviously, with your studies and with your job, how do you guys try to stay innovative these days, especially, you know, during this period of time when we're all kind of hunkered down in our houses? Is there anything you do outside of your schooling or outside of your job that you like to do to try to keep your mind sharp and focused so you can tackle whatever challenge lies ahead of you?
Oof, the list of side project is very long.
Yeah, we definitely.
So we do a lot. We do some programming on the side. Like one of our project is to program a controller for a CNC that we're gonna. I have a small lathe and mill here, so I keep myself entertained machining parts for all my projects.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of, like, outside of school and work, we have a lot of projects, like home projects that we just do together. So hobby, we do a lot of programming, like David mentioned here, and we do, like, again, we have CNC that we're still working on. We built a plotter that basically could draw anything. My brother right now, well, both of us are working on building a small two-stroke engine. And the list goes on.
Yeah. Really, anything that interests us, we try to tackle together and figure out the problems. And
yeah, it's basically because since we like designing new things, basically it's pretty easy to say that we have a lot of home or side projects, and definitely keeping us innovative and trying some problems that, you know, might not be easy just for just home gamers, right?
Yeah. And I'll put you guys on the spot. So obviously, you know, you're still doing your schooling and you're just starting off your career. Where do you guys think you'd want to be, you know, if you were to look into a crystal ball, you know, 5 years from now?
Well, for me, 5 years from now, I'd like to start my own company. But again, we'll see like how that happens. I know these days may be a little bit harder, maybe not for online, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd like to start my own company, maybe sell stuff online or even in shop, maybe do repairs. It's hard to say. I don't really have a plan laid out, but it's definitely something that I had in the back of my mind just to would be a nice thing, a nice project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in 5 years from now, I would see myself. I would like to first finish my apprenticeship and get my papers for millwright.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to gain experience as a machinist and go out in the field, either open a business for machining or work as a machinist.
Right on. Sounds like you guys have it all figured out. So you guys certainly had it more figured out than I did. I still don't know what I'm going to do in 5 years from now. So, sweet.
Yeah, well, those are all tentatives. They're not
Yeah.
pavement, right?
For sure. So I guess all in all, in the end, you know, if you were to go back in time, do you think you would have looked into trying to get involved in applied research when you first started your studies at Cambrian?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yes.
Absolutely. I know, like, I participated in applied research on my last year of college. Knowing what I know today, I would definitely have started working
Since day one.
Yeah, since day one.
I would
yeah,
have
for
tried
sure.
to get applied since day one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think given what we knew about you guys once you came on board, I think we would have liked to have you from day one as well. So, but again, hindsight is always 20/20. So at least moving forward, we'll try to get some new wizardry students from you know, electrical and industrial millwright machining, because yeah, you guys did a great job in applied research, and obviously thank you for everything you did, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I know that there's probably better things you'd like to do than chat with me, but nevertheless, we appreciate you coming on the call and having this chat with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well, thanks. It was a pleasure to chat with you too.
Oh, sorry, you're still there. Yeah, so after this video, I'm actually going to do a Facebook Live, actually live. I'll be live. I probably won't be wearing the shirt, and you know, it's December 1st when you're watching this, so I won't have this mustache. So if you stay on our Facebook page, check out our Facebook Live section. I'll be taking questions from the folks that are online about applied research, how Cambrian can help companies access funds and work on these projects. So again, thank you for joining us for the interview with David and Pierre. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll see you in a few minutes for the live Q&A. All right, thanks.